priority project. But I just want to let you know there are other projects and they're ranked high priority, medium priority, low priority that are available. The problem, I think Andrew pointed this out, I don't know, is we have a very short time frame, unfortunately, to try to put something together that is unique. So he would suggest something very unique. It's going to be hard to put that together and get it in by the end of September. On the other hand, since we are now in a one-year funding cycle instead of a three-year funding cycle, if anybody on council is kind of thinking ahead and looking toward the following year, give us, I would urge you to give us some lead time. Let's talk about some projects for 2014 and beyond that might be fundable and that might come from this list. So, in summary, we'll probably recommend more handicap ramps for next year. But if you have something else, if we can do quickly, we'll try it. But if not, we'll look at that for 2 years.
I'll throw the flood drain improvements right out there, which is what I tagged on when I saw it. I think that's something we really seriously to look at. A lot of businesses, a lot of residents have a lot of problems with drainage and flooding stuff. Handicap ramps are nice, but maybe we're changing.
So flood drain, can we talk about later, maybe not some specifics?
Anything else regarding the application? Did you want just direction from us to go ahead?
No, I want approval to put this on the agenda for the 17th to submit the application for 2013.
What about senior services program?
That's another one that's in a high priority area. Can you talk to me later about some specifics to see what we might do?
Next order of business is there any other business that comes through?
I have one thing.
Yes.
I just would like the record to reflect that I did not respond to the August 7th email from Councilman Justin Stoddard asking for fellow council members for opinion. In my view, this action would be a violation of the Sunshine Act by asking all council members to ask for their opinion in an issue without being public. So I just wanted to point out that I did not respond to that email. And I don't know if the rest of the council did or didn't. I don't think they did. But I don't want to be in violation. I think we learned a lesson earlier.
Barbara, I'd like to comment on that. There was no vote asked to be taken, and I would like to bring that up because I would like to see what council's opinion is on reinstituting or revitalizing the DARE program or some type of drug prevention program, you know, in accordance with the school board and the school system, obviously. I've spoken with 2 of the school board members that seem to be very in favor of it.
Excuse me, Justin. That's not what you asked in the email. It wasn't about the DARE program or anything else. It was a different email that you're talking about. You sent another email.
You're talking about later email.
You're not talking about the email that I'm talking about. The August 7th email.
We were talking about an email that we were not supposed to discuss.
Right.
That's the email. That has nothing to do with the DARE program.
That had nothing to do with DARE.
And I did not respond.
You did not respond either?
No. I was told not to.
I did not.
It's under litigation and we're not supposed to respond.
Which litigation we are allowed to speak about, correct? Under this,
Litigation we're allowed to speak about in executive council. There was no executive council. That was an email directed at every council person in this council. And I did not respond to it. Suzanne, did you? No. Jim, did you?
No. I didn't.
No. I just want the record to reflect that.
Okay. On to my comment about the revitalization of the DARE program. I did speak with 2 of the school board members that are going to pass the information along as far as the rough costs for revitalizing the DARE program or possibly looking into some type of drug prevention program into our school systems. They are going to pass that along, and I think that the next step that they would like to take would be to, you know, get with the chief and, you know, council
you have any idea what that would cost? Do you have any breakdown?
I have some rough numbers. DARE actually right now, for the first year, for anybody that hasn't had a program within the past 2 years active or has never had a program, is offering the course workbooks for free. And basically our cost for the initial year would be to send an officer to training, which I did look into some locations. There's one that happens in New Jersey that's supposed to happen in September, but that class is full. The next one will be in April of next year. And basically, we would need to pay for the officer to have lodging and food expenses and then the cost of the course. So we're looking at roughly like $1,000 for that. The course, I believe, is $300 to $400. And then the second year, the cost of the program is $1.29 workbook. And they have a couple different things set up. One of them is for a 5th grade level, the other one's for a 7th grade level. It would be up to the school board and the chief and everybody involved which route we would like to take.
Do we have an officer that's already at the DARE program certified and approved?
Trained? Not under the current rules for DARE. We have 2 officers that are currently at work. Under the old system, they did not, speaking with the gentleman today, they did not think they would have to be retrained if they consider doing it.
Excuse me. Go ahead, John.
No, I'm sorry. Chief, this program that you're talking about in the conversation you had with Justin would be for the schools in Guth, Sowerville Elementary, maybe in the south.
Would just be for Guth, South Middle School, and maybe St. Agnes. They're the only schools in our jurisdiction. The other schools would have to.
Oh, is the Sowerville Elementary in West Rockville?
Yes, sir.
So I just wanted to point that out, that I'm certainly not necessarily opposed to this, but hopefully if this is successful, in order to touch all of the school district, you have to get the Milltown, Bedminster, and regional police also involved. So I just want to make that clear. This is not covering all of Bedminster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, is there any other business to come before us at this time, council? Hearing none, we'll go to our second public forum. Do you have first council? Welcome to the name.
My name is Lynn Schultz, and I reside on 113 North 7th Street. And I would just like to speak on behalf of the skate park. I would like to confirm with council, is it mandatory though that the skate park ramps be moved from where they're at? Partly because I know that it does cost a great deal. And I know with that other money that we have, that we could repair other ramps that have been taken throughout the past. I think that would be a very smart decision because I know that many kids that go there would like those ramps back too. But I mean, if it is necessary, we'd just like to be informed.
Were you part of the group that came from council to the fundraising to let parents?
No.
Did you know any of those guys?
I guess it was, I guess I'm looking at his size, I don't know how old they are. Yeah, he must have been a little guy. And this guy's a long time.
Interesting. Do you guys prefer to be in the cage, or do you prefer to be where it is now, streetscape style?
Well, if it were in the cage though, I do understand that those ramps that are gone would have some chance of going back. But if it were in the street section, like where it is now, if those ramps were placed back and repaired, it would be favor than in the page.
Do you use skates or do you use your bike on the rest of the time?
I use the bike, but I mean, I have friends with all.
Yeah. I see a lot of bikes out there.
Yeah, the majority, I would say, is bike.
Okay.
I'd just like to make a comment on that too. Everybody got the risk management survey from the insurance company. I was a little taken back at the fact that, it was kind of portrayed to the public and to the rest of council that it was imperative that we move this due to the insurance company. In the risk management report, it has the skate ramps being repaired, which we can obviously agree and see that they need to be repaired. It's a grade A. There's also the skate park relocation, which is actually a grade C as far as importance. So I was just kind of a little taken back by that it was portrayed that we needed to move this to the insurance company. And it says the trust concurs with plans to relocate the skate park out of the 100-year floodplain. Well, I mean, if that's the only thing, it's still sitting in a floodplain, so I would just like to have had this information before we actually took a vote on this. I don't know if it will change.
Actually, if you had read the dividend report from last summer, from the previous summer, the summer before that, you would have seen that it was the configuration of the skate park that led to collisions. While it's only a grade C, it's still, after those years, I think, proven this council to have decided to move it because it wasn't a configuration, or it was a configuration that lent itself, according to our insurance company, to collisions and then possible exposure on our end.
Now, as far as the configurations, I remember talking to Dan about this. It was due to the pyramid or the tabletop. Is that correct?
Sorry, repeat that.
The concern about collisions was due to the tabletop pyramid ramp coming out from both sides.
I think that's correct. I'm not sure which two was it. Two that were back to back, where you come up one side and come up the other side. I'm not sure what any of those pieces are. That was the main concern.
I mean, could we have eliminated the configuration problem by swapping out the two ramps that we had spoken about to avoid the concern of collisions?
I believe that by separating those pieces where they are now, although that would spread it out further, it might fit in there. I'm not sure what the distances between them, but that would have alleviated their A priority concerns. You can see there were three. The A priority was always the back-to-back ramps.
Justin, according to the report that I have, the solicitor just provided me, and it says here, the skate park configuration is a priority A. The linear length configuration is not recommended as it increases the likelihood of collisions. Particular given the park is not supervised. I know that's different from what you have.
No, it's the same thing. But I know I've been brought up in a previous meeting, if there was concern for collisions at the tabletop ramps, and that's why I was questioning.
One of the other reasons is because the flow of traffic through the park is now revamped because of the skate park. We put it back in where it was originally. We can have the flow of traffic back to normal. That was a consideration also.
Not to mention, they use the concrete, the cabin pad that's been sitting there for years and years. So I would think it'll open it up a little bit. I know there was one gentleman from the skate park who's been with the committee for a few years who's been working on the design. I believe that we, in Chris Nicolosi, some direction that there could be a possibility that those other pieces would come back. They're in storage now, and it takes money for the underlayment as well as the surface piece. So, if I know there's a group of people that are still together, if we have the ability to raise some money, I know this council's always been very supportive of the skate park.
Yeah, I could find many people for farmers.
And we'll be
Make
coming
sure
to
Josh gets you in there.
Yeah.
Chris will be gone.
Thanks for your interest and concern.
Thank you.
Is there anything else
my name is Cameron Sadler. I live at 1101 Park Avenue. I'm also speaking about the skate park. Is it necessary to move it? It is necessary to move it from the street back into the Asian area. But the thing is, the structural integrity of the ramps, if we move them in there, it's going to be compromised. And then if we do eventually get those other ramps back, which we all want, then we're not going to be able to rearrange it so they're still able to be used. So it would be best keeping the street area if we're considering to bring back the other ramps. And then also, with all due respect, what has happened to the progress with resurfacing all the ramps, because it has standstill now for the past month?
They'll be resurfaced when we go back into the cage area.
Okay.
And then fenced in. That's why they're going to put a stand.
And the hold up on that is just waiting for concurrence from the insurance company as to the deliberation. Although they're not the be all and the end all, we are trying to take some direction from the insurance company to make sure they're safe as possible. We're going back and forth on those signs that some of the users sat down with Mr. Gilbert to go over what that configuration would be. So as soon as we get concurrence, they'll be scheduled to be moved, and then the new material will go on after the move.
As far as your structural integrity that you had mentioned, we put it back in the cage area. It's level where it's at now. It's not level, and their big shin breaks up and it moves, and they break.
When is this all expected to be done by?
As soon as we can, as soon as our department, as soon as our forces can find the time to do it.
Well, right now, we're still waiting on the final okay on the plans. And if the Public Works Department had nothing else to do, it would probably take us a month. It would probably take us a month to do it. So leaf collection is going to be starting in the end of October. So we're going to try to get started on it, but we're still waiting to get the final plan, because once you're in there, you're going to be there.
Thanks, Dan.
Is there any opportunity that we're able to earn money to fix up the ramps that are now in storage before the final plan is in place to put it back in the fence? Because if we're able to incorporate those ramps and make it would fill up more space.
That's a consideration, certainly. How about if you contact Josh? And Dan, you have a comment on it?
Yeah, they keep talking about moving those other pieces in. That was one of the reasons why it was moved out of the fenced-in area, because there was too much in there. There was complaints about not having enough room to skateboard. So that's why they were, when it was moved out, it was just too crowded in that fenced-in area. So that's why they put it in the linear configuration, which the insurance company doesn't want. So if we're going to move them back in, we have to know that now, because we have to set everything up and make room for everything. So can't do anything until the decision is made on that.
Well, it's been voted on, it's getting moved.
Right, yes, it has been voted on.
I know this is very far-fetched, but like one thing that we would be able to do, because I know that the blind spots and the reason for everybody crashing is very important with the insurance company. That's why we're moving it back in. What if we expanded like the asphalt plate that we have with all the ramps on? If we expanded that, we're able to make it so there's no blind spots, then it's very easy to put back the other ramps, because that's really what everybody wants, but it's really hard to do due to the fact that it's really hard to raise on the money.
Very valid points. I can't give you the answer at this point. Other than it's going to be moved back into the fenced area. We did a lot of investigating, and we had the skateboarders advise us what they wanted, and that's how we do it. So, but anyway, contact Josh, give him your input as to what we're doing. So, if it's possible, we can take them into consideration. But all goes not everything goes. That's the trouble with that. We have a lot of maintenance spending. All right, thank you, sir, for your input and concern.
I just have a question. Do you boys have a way to get home?
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. I think it's wonderful.
Any other, anyone else? In the public forum?
Tom Myers, 66 Fairview Ave. I just want to say I think it's a mistake to reappoint our current youth counselor to the position until the end of next school year. This person has been a continual no-show. I think we need to call for resignation on this and open up the position immediately to another child that might be interested instead of continuing to tie up an empty seat until the next end of school year. We all know that it's a hard seat to fill. We should just open it up now and advertise it now instead of holding off. Because if any one of you was a continual no-show, we would call for a resignation and that seat would be filled immediately.